It's Thursday, January 26th, 2012. I'm gonna try to get that electric working. I don't know if the bimetal effect has caused that breaker to seize to the copper to seize to the steel in that thing. Maybe that's why I can't get it off. I'm scared to do it too much. I don't want to end up having to buy Georgia breaker box by screwing it up. I'm going to try to put a little more pressure on it and see if it pops out. Other than that, it's looking like it's going to snow today. But I got to get something accomplished here. I'm hoping to get this electrical thing running so that I can move forward on this bumper. Also, I can drill the holes and stuff like that, get it all ready. So that's why I'm focused on that bumper, because that's critical. Once the garage is undouble locked, I want to pull that trailer right out and be driving around with it on this other truck. That way I have that garage clear for getting Cherry's car repaired and getting this extended cab repaired, hopefully before the snow. That's the plan. Okay, back to this project. This is the old stab lock system. These are actually hazardous boxes, so I told George he should be starting to look for different boxes. I'm going to try to pull this 50 amp breaker out so I can put it in the other box. Well, it's weird, but that's cool. I was able to just pull this right out. It must have just been had the bimetal effect. You can see the corrosion right here from I don't know why it was in there so tight. Anyway, I'm going to leave his main breaker off on this, and just in case, actually just leave everything off. This is the leg of the electric. He hasn't paid the bill and it's off anyway. Alright, I'm going to put this back together and put this 50 amp breaker in the other one. And it's really weird how they have this set up. They got a 60 amp breaker. This used to be an old pottery place, this house. Anyway, you got a 100 amp breaker which goes to a sub-feed box up in his dining room, which is ridiculous since you only got a 100 amp service. Anyway, I'm going to put I'll put the 50 amp breaker right under that. Oh, there's no room under that. Man, this is so sad. He's got to have an electrician come and totally put in a whole new box. Or two boxes, actually. One for upstairs, one for downstairs. That third box is redundant. It's got nothing in it at all. I don't even know what they had in that. That's actually a sub-feed. That's weird. They got a 100 amp breaker on it. You can see where the wires are going to a 60 amp sub-feed. So this box is actually live. I could put the welder breaker in that sub-feed. Now that's kind of stupid. Yeah, I could have stolen this 60 amp breaker. It was getting a little too high. I wanted to use a 40 amp. Okay, now that the breaker's out, I just went and had a cup of coffee and back. Now I'm going to put this right under that top 100 amp breaker. This is a sub-feed. This 60 amp breaker goes to nothing because it goes to this sub-feed box, which also goes to nothing. So this whole box could be actually pulled out. Not sure that's really odd where that's going. Right into the ground. I hope that's not his ground for his house. That'd be weird. Huh. And they did some squirrely crap. They might, maybe that was a feed for the outbuilding. Got like a little outbuilding over here. Okay, I got the clamp in the side of the box. That's nice and tight. This box is a nightmare. I told George he should replace get an electrician and replace the boxes for his entire house. It was ridiculous. Well, I had intended to nail U-nails to the wall, but you can see it's totally rotted. I could put my finger right through the wall, right here. I don't know. We need a piece of aluminized plywood or something. If I'd noticed that, I wouldn't have put this box here. I would have put it over on another solider piece. I can't find a hammer, so I'm hammering with a crowbar. I'm going to paint these, I think, so that they don't rust. Okay, I got this in. I'm having a problem hammering these tight down with the wrench. I'm going to have to look for a hammer. I tightened this clamp. All I got to do is put that down there and strip this inside wire so that I can install the brake. Alright, this is all on. Now you just got to find that razor knife. I can strip this back. I'll look for that. Okay, I must have dropped the razor knife out of my pocket and lost it, but I found a razor blade. So I stripped these back. I stripped the ends. What I gotta do now, attach this ground wire to one of the ground block, and then hook the rest. Well, as you can see, I attached the ground wire to the grounding block. You see a lot of common wires hooked to the grounding block as well. That's common in these circuits. That's how they do it for 110. This is 220, so in our case the white wire is a hot lead that's just out of phase with the black wire. It comes out automatically that way once these go in, because you got two phases. So all I got to do is pop it in, and that's it. Put the thing back. And there you have it, 150 amp welder circuit. Nothing blew up. Everything's good. Okay, I have the 60 amp breaker off for the. Now the rest of this fell off. Darn it. Anyway, I disconnected the sub feed. There's no point in having stuff running that doesn't have anything going to it. Just going to put the box cover on. In retrospect, I probably should have put this outlet below this panel box, since we got to still build doors for this yet. All we have just a piece of panel up on it. Oh well. I'll have to get George to get the parts. We'll build some doors on this to make it easier to get at. For now, I'm not going to worry. Okay, now comes the fun part. I get this thing welded now. So, I guess I'll do it right here. Okay, here's the project. It's going to be a little weighty. There's probably a lot of overkill to this. But, it's not going to be overkill once I modify the van at a later date. I'll be able to reuse this to the modified van. Because basically I'm going to build a van eventually, and maybe use that box that's on the back of that van and make like a heavy-duty four-wheel drive van. Anyway, you can see there's a lot of crooked cuts because I don't have a bandsaw or anything. I'll straighten these up after the fact. Basically, first thing I'm going to do is make a square with that, and then I'm just going to weld this stuff all together and weld that on there. Then I'm going to drill holes and support it further with bolts. Okay, that's ready. I'm going to also paint that. Such a beautiful day. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt. It's insane. You wouldn't think this is January weather at all, but it's good for me. Okay, I prepped this a little bit with a grinder so it has something nice to weld to. First stage, I'm going to weld this 90 degrees with this one. These are actually going to hold this square. I know that these long pieces are the right length. These are just extra. I have something to weld some hooks to later on so I can do some chain towing from the corners. Well, I can see that I'm not going to make a living as a welder. My welding practice is way out of practice. But it should hold. I'm going to tack it all up and then I'll re-weld it. Oh, thermal overload in this stupid thing keeps kicking off for some reason. This welder probably stinks. Hopefully it'll get through this load, this weld, this project. I almost got one down and then 6 to go. Maybe a lot of welding yet. At least these 6011 rods are working okay. Well, I don't hear a lot of fanning coming out of this thing, so maybe it's got a bad fan. After I finish this weld, I'm going to pack this project up and start worrying about fixing this welder. Yeah, this isn't turning back on. I got to find out why it's overheating and kicking the thermal overload. It works good when it's working. I gotta take the cover off of that thing and put more fans on it or something. Anyway, I'm gonna work on that now. New project. I gotta get a slag hammer or an axe or something to chop off all this. I'll clean all this up before I paint it. It'll look better than it looks, but it's strong, believe me. That's not even holding much. What this is gonna be holding is just keeping this one and the other one square. This is actually a two-part project. This is the bumper part, which will be pretty solid, and then the other part will bolt underneath of this. This will bolt to the truck, and then the top piece will bolt to this, and underneath the trailer hitch will bolt underneath of this, so it'll be pretty. Okay, I'm gonna spray some black on this. Looks like some rain is rolling in. Actually, some of this got wet. Maybe I shouldn't do that now. No, the top's dry. Maybe I'll just do the top. Well, that's not a bad first coat. This bumper's come a long way from the bent up piece of rusty crap that it was. And pretty soon it'll be reinforced underneath with that steel. The only part I didn't get under this first coat is what's between that piece of wood I stuck on the ground and this. All that stuff I've set up for a few minutes. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. Hopefully it won't rain between now and then. And then I'll bring this inside and I'll do the other coat tomorrow. Well, I'll probably flip it and do it. If it doesn't rain, then I'll flip it and do that piece underneath, so at least this first coat's 100%. So I flipped it and I hit the other side. I ended up painting a lot more on it because when I flipped it, I saw a lot of primer shadows on the other sides of these holes. That's the thing about painting stuff with holes in it. It's hard to get every little bit of it. And where you don't get, where you just leave primer, it'll soak water in, and then it'll, see, there's one I missed. I got hit from this angle. You look at it from all these different angles. You can see the primer on that one. I don't know if it shows up with this camera or not. So anyway, I'm going to hit that again. I'm going to go get Cherry's car, give that a little run. I'm going to run down to the processing unit and get my get some more tools so I can take apart this welder. So I got to see what's wrong with the fan or why it's overheating. Yeah, it's such a beautiful day, temperature-wise. I think there's going to be some rain rolling in though. We've been having a couple of sun showers, but I don't know. Anyway, this car started right up, which is good. Tires aren't flat. Everything's good. The only thing, it's got no brakes, which I'm working on trying to clear a garage so I can work on the brakes. I think if I pay the other guy to work on the brakes, he quoted me $40. I think once he got into it, there's some tricks to this that I think by the time he got, it would end up over $100 in labor. So I'm going to just do it myself. That way I know it's done right anyway. Okay, I got my socket set and a pair of pliers. And I couldn't find a number 2 Phillips, but I got a number 1 Phillips. Hopefully I can pull out the sheet metal screws of that, or hopefully George is a number 2 Phillips, which I have my doubts. Anyway, back to the house. Yeah, this bumper is looking pretty good at this point. You can see where there's some shadows that you couldn't see when it was wet. So this is just the first coat. I'll do another coat tomorrow. Anyway, it's looking pretty good. I use that cheap Rust-Oleum black paint because if it gets all skanked up, all I have to do is get the paint, which they're never going to stop making, and just touch it up. Alright, I just brought it into the cellar so that I can just let it dry for a while. I'll get another coat tomorrow, the next day, but right now I got to get this welder apart, see why it's the thermal control keeps kicking it off. I had to take the wheels off because a couple of the cabinet screws were underneath the wheels. Well, it looks pretty straightforward. The only problem I can see here is here's the thermocouple assembly. It's missing a bolt. Maybe it's just got a bad ground to the thermocouple, and that's why it's kicking off so much. I don't know, I gotta plug this in and make sure that fan's running. I haven't seen much of a fan. That for some reason this thing's overheating. Okay, I'll flip it on and see if the fan works. And it does. Doesn't seem to have a lot of heat. Maybe I could use it without the cover on. Oh, there's one of the damn stink bugs inside my welder. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to just have to go to Lowe's and get a little bolt for the thermocouple. Or maybe George has one. Let's see if it works then. We'll give us another shot tomorrow. Can't burn more gas going back and forth to Lowe's. I'm going to Lowe's, get a bolt for the thermocoupler assembly. There was signs of arcing, so I'm pretty optimistic that How bad ground is the problem with the thermocouple sporadicness on that welder? Well, I had to buy 5 of each, nut, washer, and bolt. Not lock, washer, and bolt. I didn't get any washers. Hopefully I won't need any. They're $1.18 a pack. I got stainless though. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore. Might as well straighten out all this bent up chassis here since I have it off. Arg. Doesn't fit right in. Maybe I can screw it in from the back. What do you know? It worked. It self-tapped into the aluminum. I'm still going to put a nut and washer on it though. Well, apparently George's stove is going through that third junction box. They must have it like hot wired in through the back of it somehow. Anyway, this is done now. I tighten this right down. Hopefully that'll stop the thermistors from kicking. It wasn't getting hot. The only other problem is this thing, but this is for the DC circuit. This one here. I'm not using a DC circuit, I'm using the AC right now. Alright, I'm going to just put this cabinet back together and put the wheels back on and we'll deal with this tomorrow. Okay, it's all back together. If it kicks now, I don't know how to fix it. I guess I'd have to check the thermistor. Great. It wasn't done and I just snapped the bolt for the wheels in the axle. Boy, that was cheesy. Well, I guess I'll have to easy out that at some point. Right now it's not getting wheels, so that's it. Well, I'm eating good tonight for a change. Rare steak. Very good. I may eat like half of this and make some noodles. Well, there's not much more can be done today. I just watched presidential debates. It's about 10:15. Tomorrow I'm going to give Welder another shot. If the welder holds up, then hopefully I'll at least be able to get the bumper on tomorrow and get it drilled. So, that's what I'm going to try to do. We'll see you tomorrow.